Hello, and today I'm going to be reading you the first chapter of Rainbow Magic Ruby the Red Fairy. This is the first book, so I hope you enjoy the first chapter. The next recording I do after this will be the second chapter, and it will go on. I hope you enjoy it. The End of the Rainbow. "Look, Dad," said Rachel Walker. She pointed across the blue-green sea at the rocky island ahead of them. The ferry was sailing towards it, dipping up and down on the rolling waves. "Is that Rainspell Island?" she asked. Her dad nodded. "Yes, it is," he said, smiling. "Our holiday is about to begin." The waves slapped against the side of the ferry as it bobbed up and down on the water. Rachel felt her heart thump with excitement. She could see white cliffs and emerald green fields on the island, and her golden sandy beaches, with the rock pools dotted here and there. Suddenly, a few fat raindrops plopped on Rachel's head. "Oh!" she gasped. The sun was still shining. Rachel's mum grabbed her hand. "Let's get under cover," she said, leading Rachel inside. "Isn't that strange?" Rachel said. "Sunshine and rain." "Let's hope it stops before we get off the ferry," said Mr. Walker. "Now, where did I put that map of the island?" Rachel looked out of the window, her eyes opened wide. A girl was standing alone on the deck. Her dark hair was wet with raindrops, but she didn't seem to care. She just stared up at the sky. Rachel looked over at her mum and dad. They were busy studying the map, so Rachel slipped back outside to see what was so interesting. And there it was. In the blue sky, high above them, was the most amazing rainbow that Rachel had ever seen. One end of the rainbow was far out to sea. The other seemed to fall somewhere on Rainspell Island. All of the colours were bright and clear. "Isn't it perfect?" the dark-haired girl whispered to Rachel. "Yes, it is," Rachel agreed. "Are you going to Rainspell Island on holiday?" The girl nodded. "We're staying for a week," she said. "I'm Kirsty Tate." Rachel smiled as the rain began to stop. "I'm Rachel Walker. We're staying at Mermaid Cottage," she added. "And we're at Dolphin Cottage," said Kirsty. "Do you think we might be near each other?" "I hope so," said Rachel replied. She had a feeling she was going to like Kirsty. Kirsty leaned over the rail and looked down into the shimmering water. "The sea looks really deep, doesn't it?" she said. "There might even be mermaids down there, watching us right now." Rachel stared at the waves. She saw something that made her heart skip a beat. "Look," she said. "Is that a mermaid's hair?" Then she laughed, when she saw that it was just seaweed. "It could be a mermaid's necklace," said Kirsty, smiling. "Maybe she lost it when she was trying to escape from the sea monster." The ferry was now sailing into Rainspell's tiny harbour. Seagulls flew around them, and fishing boats bobbed on the water. "Look at the big white cliff over there," Kirsty said. She pointed it out to Rachel. "It looks a bit like a giant's face, doesn't it?" Rachel looked and nodded. Kirsty seemed to see magic everywhere. "There you are, Rachel," called Mrs. Walker. Rachel turned round and saw her mum and dad coming out to the deck. "We'll be getting off the ferry in a few minutes," Mrs. Walker added. "Mum, Dad, this is Kirsty," Rachel said. She's staying at Dolphin Cottage. That's right next door to ours, said Mr. Walker. I remember seeing it on the map. Rachel and Kirsty looked at each other in delight. I'd better go and find my mum and dad, said Kirsty. She looked around. Oh, here they are. Kirsty's mum and dad came over to say hello to the Walkers. Then the ferry docked and everyone began to leave the boat. Our cottages are on the other side of the harbour, said Rachel's dad, looking at the map. It's not far. Mermaid Cottage and Dolphin Cottage were right next to the beach. Rachel loved her bedroom, which was high up in the attic. From the window she could see the waves rolling onto the sand. A shout from outside made her look down. It was Kirsty. She was standing under the window, waving at her. Let's go and explore the beach, called Kirsty. Rachel dashed outside to join her. Seaweed lay in piles on the sand, and there were tiny pink and white shells dotted about. I love it here already, Rachel shouted happily above the noise of the seagulls. Me too, Kirsty said. She pointed up at the sky. Look, the rainbow's still there. Rachel looked up. The rainbow glowed brightly among the fluffy white clouds. Have you heard the story about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Kirsty asked. Rachel nodded. Yes, but that's just in fairy tales, she said. Kirsty grinned. Maybe, but let's go and find out for ourselves. Okay, Rachel agreed. We can explore the island at the same time. They rushed back to tell their parents where they were going. Then Kirsty and Rachel set off along the lane behind their cottage. It led them away from the beach, across green fields and towards a small wood. Rachel kept looking up at the rainbow. She was worried that it would start to fade now that the rain had stopped, but the colours stayed clear and bright. It looks like the end of the rainbow is over there, Kirsty said. Come on! And she hurried towards the trees. The wood was cool and green after the heat of the sun. Rachel and Kirsty followed the winding path until they came to a clearing. Then they both stopped and stared. The rainbow shone down on the top of the grass through the gap of the trees, and there at the rainbow end lay an old black pot. And that is the end of chapter 1. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come and see me soon.